Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. Yeah, it seems to be a common theme on this channel this season that we're going over the same ground. One step forward, two steps back. Crystal Palace this weekend, Sellers Park, on the back of a great result against Nottingham Forest. I think it was a result against Forest that rejuvenated the fan base. Jack Grealish and Kevin De Bruyne playing in the midfield, Jeremy Doku on the left. Everything looked rosy. Going to Sellers Park, you're thinking maybe we found something. Maybe he's tweaked it that little bit to get a result. Yeah, I think everybody was excited. Got down to London on the Friday. Stayed in the hotel. The players was actually in my hotel. They arrived Friday night. The hotel was full of autograph hunters. There was literally probably 60 or 70 Chinese lads with books and books and books of pictures and numbers, just gate crashing the hotel trying to get these players to sign. In the end, the players didn't sign one autograph for nobody. There was a couple of genuine City fans there with kids as well waiting around the coach who I felt a bit sorry for. But these lads spoiled it. So, yeah, we've seen the players on the Friday. Then on the Saturday, we get Storm Darrow or whatever it was called. It was wreaking havoc across the country. The Liverpool-Everton game was postponed. I can't say the conditions were much better at Sellers Park. We get to the game, get to the ground, and the team's announced. And no Grealish, no Doku. It just had vibes of going back 4 or 5 games when we're in the middle of this run where, you know, we couldn't get out of it. The team just didn't fill me full of confidence. You know what I mean? Crystal Palace is a tough place. We know that. We very rarely, you know, play super well there. It's always a tough game. And looking at the team, you know, Kyle on the right, Rico on the left, Gvardiol and Diaz. And then the midfield, it looked a bit light for me in there. Bernardo and Gundogan and that in there. De Bruyne, Erling up front. Savinho as an outlet. But yeah, Nunes, it just didn't fill me full of confidence. And like you say, I'm getting a bit tired of it now. Like the you know, coming on to do these match reactions, there's not a lot I can say that's changing. You know what I mean? It's the same setup week in, week out, but I'm just a little bit flat with the way we thought we found something with the Grealish situation and the Doku situation. And I know he's come out and said, oh, he felt like a little twinges in the muscles and all that. I don't buy that, to be honest, because, you know, they were eager to come on the pitch. So we've been warming up all the game. So it is what it is. Anyway, the game kicked off and, yeah, we knew we were going to be in for a tough game. We looked flat. We kept the ball well, but we didn't look too, you know, gung-ho. I saw a stat the other day about Man City, like in the past when they've lost games, they've dominated possession and they've had 30, 25, 30 shots and stuff like that. And now you look at the team where we are and what's happening, and it's just disjointed for me. It's just disjointed and it's lethargic, and the team a lot of the players out there don't look like they've got the energy for it or the fight. You know what I mean? I can handle being beat off a better team. I can handle slipping up, no problem. But when you go into back a team and they just look like they're going through the motions, which I think our lot do half the time this season, it's hard. You know what I mean? I said beginning of the season, things didn't look right. I didn't think we were the same team. People slagged me off, said, oh, we're second and this, that and the other. But we're not the same team. We're not. And then Pep comes out with his weird comments this week and that, saying, oh, we're going to suffer this season. Well, why are we suffering? Why are we suffering? You know, is it because you was going to leave, Pep, and you decided to stay and you messed the plans up? Was it because you dropped a bollock with Cheeky in the summer and you didn't get your signings in? It's all right telling us why we're suffering, but tell us why. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, we know you've got injuries and all that, but everybody else has got injuries. I looked at the Chelsea squad yesterday that played Spurs. I looked at the squad. I looked at the bench. Then I looked at our squad and our bench. And they look better than us. Do you know what I mean? On paper, they've got a better squad than us. You know what I mean? Our bench away at Palace the other day was disgusting. For a team of Manchester City's calibre and what we've done over the last 4 years, to resort to having a bench like that was disgusting. So it's mad. Do you know what I mean? It's mad. We've got Juventus coming up as well this week, and we've got the odd mob on Sunday, and it just doesn't fill me full of confidence this week. I can't lie. You know, and you can be the most positive City fan in the world, but there comes a point where you've got to take a step back and think, hold on a minute, you know, where are we going with this now? Do you know, we got into January. He needs to come out and say, in January, I'm going to fix it. Give everyone a boost. Don't just come out with riddles and stuff like, oh, well, it's Rico, it's Rico, yellow card. Why? Because it's Rico. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? And anyway, let's get on the game. The first goal of the Crystal Palace was a joke. The defending was crap. Rico Lewis was caught inside, too far inside, and Kyle Walker played everybody on. Next minute, we find ourselves 1-0 down. Okay, we've got a mountain to climb. We huffed and puffed a few chances. Gundogan hit the post, etc. Savinho had a couple of chances, but looked lost in the first half. No one was giving him the ball. We ended up getting an equaliser. Nunes down the flank with a crossing. And Erling Haaland, basically, great goal, headed it in the corner, 1-1. We're going at half time, 1-1. The game's in the balance. Yeah, I thought we did okay. I thought we knocked it about a little bit better, but we were vulnerable on the counter attack. We kept making mistakes. Rico Lewis got caught in possession with the ball a few times, dispossessed with it, pushed off the ball too easily. Like I did say this a few weeks ago, and people, you know, don't want to listen to it, but it is what it is. It's right in your face. We're not physically built to cope with the Premier League in the middle of the park without Rodri in there. We're not. Gundogan, Bernardo, Rico, whoever you want to put in there, they're too small. We're getting bullied. And Crystal Palace are a big side. So they got us on the counter a few times. And I'll tell you something. Now. If it wasn't for Ruben Diaz with the last-minute blocks and the throwing his body and putting everything in front of the ball, we'd be dead. We'd have been 4-1 down. Ruben Diaz, for me, is the captain of that team. He's the leader of that team. He's leading by example. He's saying the right things. He's coming out and doing the right things. He was getting the crowd going. He was coming up to the away end and getting us going, and that's what we want from a leader. Kyle Walker, don't see any of that from Kyle. You know, don't see any of that at the minute from him. People saying he's got the off-field problems. I agree. He has. So take the captaincy off him. Let him deal with his off-field problems. Let him get on with his football. Give the captain to Ruben Diaz. Let him lead the team. That's in my opinion. But I tell you what, he threw himself in front of everything, Ruben. Everything. That is the kind of spirit you need when you're going through a bad patch. Somebody that's willing to die on a hill for the football club and the shirt and the badge and what it means. So for me, Ruben Diaz, I thought was outstanding. Outstanding. Second half again, corner comes in. Nobody marking him. Free header, guy nods it into the net. We find ourselves 2-1 down. Yet again, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. It's a common theme. We're shooting ourselves in the foot. We had to go again. We scored a great goal. Rico Lewis, nice little passing between the players, De Bruyne, Bernardo, and then Rico finds himself in the box, and it was a great finish for him. Put it in the top corner. Great finish for Rico, 2-2. And then City were trying. We were trying our best. We were knocking it about well, and we were knocking on the door a little bit. Palace were always going to be dangerous on the counter. Rico's on a yellow, finds himself getting sent off. In the stadium, we looked like Rico had done a stupid foul in their box. And then when we got out and we seen the replay, obviously he shouldn't have been a yellow card. The guy stood on his foot. He's suspended now. He finds himself suspended for the derby, which he's going to be disappointing with. And then the game just filtered out. It petered out to a 2-2. And you're coming out the ground and you've got to be positive, A, because you haven't lost. And I know that sounds daft from a Man City fan saying you've got to be positive you haven't lost at Sellers Park. But when you've been beat off Bournemouth and Brighton, and drawn to Feyenoord when you're 3-0 up, not getting beat is actually a positive. So I'm being positive that way. You look at the level of performance, it's not good enough. There's no cutting edge. There's no drive. You can't see where the goal's coming from. Only Erling Haaland. Nobody else is chipping in. There's nobody else on the pitch that you think is going to do anything. Kevin De Bruyne, yeah, he's getting fitter and fitter, but he's not there. But we're a million miles off it, Blues. We are, and we've got to be honest with ourselves. There's no point in coming on this channel blowing smoke up these players' arse when they're winning if you cannot sit down and talk about what's going wrong when we're not getting the results. And it looks disjointed and it doesn't look right. You know what I mean? There's a massive rebuild got to be done at this squad to compete. They've got to. January's not ideal. If we can get a couple of players in January, ready for the beginning of next season, get the ball rolling, I believe we've got half a chance. But I think we're going to have to overpay. I feel like clubs know Manchester City are desperate. We're going to have to overpay, and so be it. I know City don't like doing that, but if you put yourself in a crisis and you drop a bollock, sometimes you've got to pay a little bit extra to get out of that crisis. Do you know what I mean? That's basically what you got to do. And that's what I feel like City's got to do now. Nathan Ake is going to be out for a while. Stones is going to be out for a while. Kovacic is going to be out for a while. There's just no positive news at the minute. You know, Oscar Bob apparently is coming back. You know, but we don't want to rush him back. Last thing we want to do is rush Oscar back and he gets another knock again. So that's disappointing. We definitely don't want to be getting towards the end of the season and thinking we can rush Rodri back, because if we lose him again, it's good night Vienna. So definitely need bodies. Even if these players around Europe, we're playing Juventus on Wednesday night, and there's Douglas Luiz. He's a player we know well. He was our player. He's come from Villa to Juventus. For some reason, he's not playing. Maybe there's a loan deal could be had there with Douglas Luiz. He knows the Premier League. He could come in. He could do a job. You know, I looked at the Chelsea game yesterday. Sorry to keep bringing Chelsea up. I looked at their midfield. Enzo Fernandez, Romeo Lavia, Caicedo in the middle of the park, and they've got plenty of options. You know, and we beat this Chelsea team, by the way, first game of the season, but we beat them because we caught them cold. They hadn't got going yet. You know what I mean? We caught them cold. Now, if we play Chelsea now, I feel like they've got the quality to do us all across the park. You know, that game yesterday at Tottenham was a ding-dong game, but they never give in. Tottenham wiped the floor with us at the Etihad the other week, 4-0. And this is one of the worst Tottenham teams for a while. I've seen us lose to bad teams this season. Bad teams, you know what I mean? But for somehow we're still there. We're still fourth, but there's only 3 points separating like 8th and 4th and stuff. So one more little bad run of results, you find yourself right down there. You know what I mean? Look at the odd mob over the road. We go and do Forest 3-0. And then Forest go there and take them apart. So the Premier League's crazy at the minute. We know that. We've just got to keep the faith. Juventus away this week. Another tough game. We've left it in the hands of the gods now. We letting Feyenoord come from behind and get a point at the Etihad was shocking. These results mean more now. We've got to go and beat Juventus. We've got to go and beat Paris Saint-Germain and beat Bruges just to make sure we get through this next round of the Champions League. And then weekend, we got the odd mob. Do you know what I mean? And they're absolutely diabolical. They're worse than us. So if we go and lose to them, then it's peak, mate. It's peak, because they are dog shit. They are dog shit. And if we've got 1 ounce of Mancunian pride in us, which all Manchester City teams over the years have, we'll go and wipe the floor with these. So when we play United at the Etihad on Sunday, for me, there's no mercy there. It's Grealish in the middle. It's De Bruyne in the middle. It's Gundogan there. It's Doku, it's Savinho, and it's Haaland, and it's go for it. I know people go, oh, they might catch us on the break. They won't, because they'll be too busy defending. That's what we got to do. Kill them. Wipe the floor with them. No mercy. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, this week there'll be some Derby Day reviews coming out. Me and Saeed, and I'll do a proper Derby preview. There's a competition on my Instagram page to win a crate of Rivals Tears. You've seen the drink, the water. Derby weekend. Whose tears are we going to be drinking, red or blue? Get over on the Instagram now. Enter the competition. Win a bottle. Well, no, win a crate of Rival Tears. There's going to be... I'm going to be doing a campaign this week. There's a company doing a campaign. They've got billboards all across Manchester. Is Manchester red or is Manchester blue? And basically, you scan the billboard and you put your vote in, and it updates the table there and then, red or blue. And at the end of the week, when all when all the votes are counted, it'll tell you whether Manchester is red or blue. So if you see these billboards and you're a City fan, go and scan them, get the vote in, share it on social media to other Blues, and let's make sure that all the Blues vote and Manchester is blue. You know what I mean? But other than that, people, there's nothing much to say. Another disappointing game, and a point at Palace is not good enough for a Manchester City team like ours. We take it on the chin. We dust ourselves off. We've got Juventus this week, who are always tough at home, but we got to go and get the win there. And then look out for all the Derby Day reactions this week coming to the weekend. Me and Saeed and stuff like that. And then we'll do a Derby Day preview. So keep going. Please hit a like. Please subscribe. Please leave a message below. I'll get back to you. Come on, City. Keep the faith. Ruben Diaz and the boys. Let's go and get this win at Juventus. Come on, City.